Hello, you Fender crazy guitar players that are looking for the most entry-level North American guitar. So what that means is made in Mexico. We actually have a made in Mexico camera set up where you can see made in Mexico. Also, cool angle where you see my pants from MrGugu.com. And this is already a, oh my God, how much money is he getting for this? Not enough kind of video. So this is the entry-level made in Mexico line called the Player Series. And you get them in really, really cool colors. I got the Strat in black. That's not cool. Tide Pool is very cool. And you get the Tele in cool colors. I got it in one of the two most iconic colors. This is a three-tone sunburst. Then, of course, butterscotch is another very desirable classic one. But you get it in cool colors as well, as would be, let's see, there's a black, don't do black. There's a butterscotch. There's a orange, which is very cool. There's a, what is that? Polar white. And my favorite, I like blue stuff, the Tide Pool, which is kind of like a petrol kind of a bluish, greenish thing. Beautiful. So, there's a two-piece body, as we can see here. On the others, we couldn't see this because it didn't have a translucent finish. We have ferrules here, of course. Oopsie. Ferrules here for string through body. You can see there's a maple neck with a skunk stripe in it where the truss rod has been put in. There is zero done here because it's a traditional Tele. Zero flattening. If you want that, you have to go to like the American Ultra or something like this. We have a 3-ply white pickguard. Two of those things that make the sound come out. A 3-position switch that, of course, when it's back here, traditionally you can't, operate it anymore. And then two of those dome head knobbies. It's a very traditional Tele, except for the bridge is more modern. Doesn't have the bendy stuff and it has individual saddles right there. It did say, let me see what it says in highlights. Bent steel. This can't be true. This doesn't look like bent steel. I don't think this is bent. I think this is wrong. Do these look like bent steel to you? That doesn't look like bent steel. That looks like, I don't know. I think that website's simply wrong. It's got 22 frets. So we're going to move on to more in-depth specs. Alder body. It's called the Telecaster. Maple neck, modern C shape. In this case, a maple fretboard. Depending on the color you get, you have option probably of maple and Porphyro, that at least the others had. It's got a 25.5-inch scale length, which is about freshly born dolphin. Freshly born dolphin, I was going to say. A 9.5-inch radials, blah, 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 jumbo medium frets. Synthetic bone nut, which I tell you right now, could be more lubricated, which is what we're going to do after the fact. Tuning stability on the instruments I got wasn't amazing, so that can be improved by a couple of things you can do, and then maybe a major improvement by putting different tuners on it. They're fine, but again, tuning stability isn't these guitars' strong suit. We have a Player Series Alnico 5 Tele single coil here, and a Player Series Alnico 5 Tele single coil here. They just look different. Okay, that's what we have. Black dots, since it's a maple fretboard and a maple neck, black dots in the side would be fine, which is what they do right there. Contrary to the Mustang and the Strat, these are very, very visible, beautifully done. I like the paint job. So look, I review inexpensive guitars all the time. None of this feels inexpensive to me. The paint job, the overall quality, if you gave me an American Professional, which clocks in at 1,500 versus a 600, I wouldn't be able to tell you a big difference in terms of feel, quality. I wouldn't be able to really tell you why that one's that much more. So this is great, except for tuning stability. This did come, let me talk about this, not set up well. I had to adjust the neck on the truss rod right there, stick a thing in, twist it. If you don't know how to do that, don't do it. I had to adjust the intonation, which means I had to move these back and forth so that when this is in tune, the 12th fret is also in tune, okay? Intonation means when you go up the fretboard that all the frets actually still have, the correct pitch. And neither the intonation nor the neck was set up. However, I talked to Ross Campbell, who got the same guitar. His was set up beautifully. I talked to Harry Holden. His guitar was set up too well. He doesn't like super low action, so he actually heightened it. And then Andy Ferris got one, and he didn't talk to me about it because he was too busy. Andy. So there are different stories about how well these guitars are set up. I think mine were a rush job. They came because they tried to get them to me really quickly, so I had enough time to do these videos, and they just didn't set them up. I talked to Chris from Thomann. He said, well, the Fender guitars usually are not set up really well. Which means when you buy one in the shop, they'll, of course, before they hand it to you, do a beautiful setup. And I said, well, what if I don't buy it in the shop, okay? Well, that's the cool thing, and you have to know about it. You can write in, when you order it, there's a optional questions or comments box. Write in, can you do a setup on the guitar, please? Which they will do free of charge. If they find something that would cost you something, they give you a call and say, okay, you need to pay for the new strings or something like this. But usually that is free of charge. It will add a few days to your order, but it could be worth it, especially on the Player Series. In my humble experience, okay? Other people have had other experiences. In your local shop, where you should buy to support the local shop, they will definitely do that. If they don't disappear with this in the back before they hand it to you, tell them to do it. Sweetwater, same thing. I have links below to Thomann and Sweetwater. Just tell them, can you do please a setup? I'm sure they will take it out of the warehouse, set it up, and then send it to you. You just have to wait a couple days longer, but it's worth it. Something I did notice on these guitars immediately when I unboxed it with my friend Michiel, that the string tree didn't have a distance piece under it. Okay, these string trees usually have a little bit of a tube underneath, so they come up about 3 millimeters, so that the string angle doesn't go really, really steep. But this, if you can see this here, has not been done. And apparently this is standard. You can see that the top two strings have a very different angle, and you would even not be able to get the string out of the string tree without loosening it a bit. And that looked fishy to me. However, I asked Chris to check the guitars at Thomann. He said, no, this is standard. And then I was a bit confused, like, why would Fender do this? I then called my friend Uwe Scholz from Tonfuchs Guitars, who's a master luthier, and he said, yeah, this is something he would do. So it's not wrong. He said, it really depends on the angle. If he has to do it in order to achieve an even angle on all 6 strings, he will do that if he needs to get the angles steeper. However, he would probably move this up here so that the angle is a bit flatter. Then I sent him pictures of these Player Series guitars, and he said, okay, no, Henning, you're right. This isn't done the way that it should be done. So, but the thing is, it's a very easy fix. You can really, very easily, and I'm not doing this because I like GraphTech people. I'm doing this because it actually is something I would do and I will do on these guitars. Change the string tree. So when you order this, order yourself a set of 2 GraphTech string trees. You get them in black or tan, and I only have the tans here. They are, this is what they look like right here. comes with screws. They are self-lubricating material, and I'll show you how quickly you can change that, and then even lubricate your nut a bit, and then all of a sudden, this is a guitar with much more even string angle on the headstock, and it stays more in tune. So we're going to do that right now in the video. Right there. There's the new one, and you can see how quickly that is done. You loosen the strings a bit. Take this off. There are different length screws in here. I take the long ones. I already have a hole, so it's very easy. Stick that in there. I'm not going to make any dirty jokes. You do them. Comment below. So this literally takes less than 30 seconds, and you're done. And now, if you look at the string angle, this is much, much more even to these strings. Okay? And this is lubricated, so when you tune it, the strings easily slip through this thing. Now we're going to make sure that this right here is also more lubricated by simply loosening the strings. And I have this slipstick here that Trevor Wilkinson's daughter Kate gave me. You know, she slipped me the stick. I don't know. I can't make that work. And that's kind of like a chapstick. And you rub that in the nut holes, and all of a sudden, it's much more lubricated. And apparently it lasts for a long, long time. And you're done. Wipe it off a bit. Tighten the strings. So, bam, we have made an improvement to our 600 euro guitar. 620, 680, let's say 650. It depends on where and when you buy it. Let's say at the Fender website it's 689. At Thomann it's about 620, something like this. So we've immediately made an improvement for tuning stability. And also tuning speed, because they don't slip anymore. They don't get stuck anymore. Before I could notice that going back, it wasn't actually lowering the pitch because it was getting stuck up here. Now we're fine. Now, is that something that Fender should have in this price range? And, you know, I should have this without upgrading it or doing the slipstick myself. Are you going to have a slipstick when you're a beginner and you order this guitar? No. Maybe that's something that they can do when setting it up. Should it work without having to do this? Yes. But is the core of the guitar so good that it's worth getting the guitar anyway and doing this 2-minute improvement? Because I'm bitching about that it's not done. However, this is a 2-minute thing, and the string trees cost me $10, and I have one left now. And I'm in tune. Now let's see how she flies. Going into the Tone King Sky King, and to those of you who will bitch about the quality of the gear I'm testing it with, I make sure that whatever I'm testing is always the lowest common denominator. Because if I'm testing this with a very, very cheap amp, you could say, well, wait, does it sound not so good because of the amp or because of the guitar? Whatever I'm testing needs to be the weakest link in the chain. That's why I'm testing it with good gear. You can, you know, think that's good or not. I don't care. That's what I'm doing because it makes sense. If this can keep up with all the gear I have, then yeah, it's a good instrument. Realistically, and I hate to have to say this, the tuners would have to go. If you want constant tuning stability, you want something better, get a set of locking tuners on this. It makes sense. Nice staggered locking tuners. The Graphtex might be a little bit pricey, but they're really, really good. Get anything. That's a good improvement you can do to this guitar, because the basics, the core, the pickups, the wood, the playability on this Player Series is really good. So it makes total sense to put a little bit of money into them. use a little bit of a compressor here. Ooh. Okay, compressor off. It's a thing. It's a Tele clean sounds compressor. It kind of goes. I can't do it! That's a kick-ass Tele sound right there. I would never use cleans in the back, but no, this works. This is beautiful. Put some shimmer on there and see what happens. Okay, that works well. A little bit of Antares overdrive. Let's see what that does in the Tone King. That's beautiful. Of course, we're going to go into a couple different amps. To finish this whole thing, we're going to do the mini plexi right there. A little bit thick, even too thick. It's a massive single coil tone right there. Are we with tuning? Yes, I'm sorry, Fender. I love you guys, but tuning stability is a problem. So, 650, 660. Let's do 750. That's what you'd realistically have to pay, because this needs different. I mean, I assume that's what it is, because it just doesn't really stay in tune. I mean, I'm beating it up like you would beat it up in a gig. Okay. Other strings could also help. These are the original strings. That's great. Marshall JCM 800. Let's push it with the Tate and see if we can lead it. Yeah, it still has that single coil bite, but it also sings. It's beautiful. And let me tell you, the playability is really good on these. I love the tones. I love the playability. The functionality just needs to be improved a tiny bit. We're going to move on to the Morgan AC20, right behind the Mustang there. That's a Voxy type of a thing. Friedman Dirty Shirley for the rock and roll. I don't know how to play this. That works really well. We're going to go more high gain, which is the Friedman small box. That's a multiplexy kind of a BE channel. Yeah, it's always there. That's all the sounds are there. How heavy can it get? Orange Rock Reverb 50. That it can do that. I think we got all the amps here. Maybe an OS module that's kind of a Dumble. Now, Teles can be used for jazz, as Mike Stern demonstrates beautifully. I will demonstrate horribly. So yeah, okay, Dumble works as well. I think we're pretty much done here with all the different amps. Bottom line, I think you know it if you've seen the whole video. I like the sounds. The sounds are there. This has 9s. Put some 10s on it and the sounds will be, I mean, that's what I think in my experience. Then, of course, everyone's got different experiences with string gauges. I would like to have 10s on this. The sounds are there. The looks are there. The playability, oh, that neck. The playability is there. Comes in a cardboard box, no kickback, no anything. Okay, it's $650, fine. I'm okay with that. Does a classic Tele need locking tuners? No. Would I like to see them? Yes! So, what do? I just put them on there, okay? Easy. You can get some no-name ones for $40. That's not a problem. You can get some of the finest ones, which for me are Graphtec ratio locking tuners, for about 120 or something like this. It's a good upgrade to this guitar, because if you ask me, other than the string tree, lubricate your nut, and the tuners, if they are the culprit of the tuning stability issues, you're going to buy yourself a very nice Tele if you fix that. Okay? I don't know if this is good or bad review, but the sounds are there. The playability is there. Everything else is a very easy fix. If you're a beginner, go to a luthier, go to your guitar builder, your guitar repair service dude anywhere. This is something they can do while you wait and drink their coffee. Easy fix, okay? Player Series Tele, if you ask me, there is no need to go up to the other 20,000 series they have. It covers all the sounds, and it covers it well, and it plays beautifully. I don't know if you get, the law of diminishing returns. If you buy like the American Professional or the Performer or whatever, I don't know how much more guitar you get. Would it be more in tune? Yeah, but I mean, you can get that for like $100 extra. This is a good guitar, minus the stuff I picked out and said. Okay, I do have to say Fender pays me for this. Why? I don't know, because it was a lot of bitching. But it's also a lot of... So, links below, please use them to Sweetwater and Thomann and tell them to set it up. I'm sorry this was a lengthy review, but I think it was necessary to point these things out. If you didn't want me to point them out, then you're on the wrong channel. Okay, if you just want a little bit of 5-minute hype and talking about how great this guitar is because you just bought it, I'm sorry I disappointed you. Fix your tuners, dude. And thank you to Leslie for switching. Use my links, that really helps me if you're interested in buying this or anything else. If you want to buy anything else at Sweetwater or Thomann, use one of our links and then buy something totally unrelated. That helps me too. So if you like my channel, do that. Follow me on Instagram. You see funny pictures of dogs and stuff. And you see some funny pictures of dogs and stuff now. Animals at the end.
I wanna lift all your curtains. I wanna drown in your tears. When I'm with you, I'm a person, and I forget all my fears. Hold me and don't let go. I